Hello children, today we are going to do a topic in science. The name of the topic is acid, bases and salt. So it's one of the very interesting topic where you will be dealing with many kind of compounds and many kind of substance which has this substance. So before starting this chapter, we should have a brief. We should know what are acid, bases and salts. So usually first we will be discussing with acid. So acids are substances which are usually sour in taste. So that means usually whenever we talk about acid, you usually have a very bad impact in your mind. You always think acids are dangerous, acids are very corrosive, they burn your skins and all. Yeah, that also is some of the property of acid, but we're gonna try to look at in a different way. So first, the word acid is coming from a Greek Latin word, which is aceri, which means sour. So substances which are usually sour in taste are your acids. And it's funny to know that many of our food which we eat contains acids, like your very own lemon and all, your citric fruits like your oranges and all, it also contain an acid, and the name of an acid is citric acid. Now there comes a question that if those are acid, why aren't they harmful to your body? Why doesn't it cause burn in your tongue and all while eating it? So for this reason, we're gonna distinguish acids into two types of acid. One is mineral acid and one is organic acids. So your mineral acids are the one which are prepared in labs, and those are very harmful acids. So those acids causes burns in your hands and face when you come in contact with them. But those organic acids are not so harmful. Those are not harmful, and they are there from the nature. Like here are some of the substances which contain this organic acid. Your gooseberries, lemons and tamarind. So these are some of the substances which are very sour in taste. Why? Because they contain some acids in it. And also there are other substances which contain acid, like in your tears and all. You have boric acids, and the Coca-Cola drink which you eat, the soft drinks and all, it also contains an acid, that is your carbonic acid. So with this, two different types of acid are associated. Now we're gonna see some of the very important organic acids which are present in the food item which we have. So in tomato you usually have malic acid, citric acid and ascorbic acid. In orange and lemon you have citric and ascorbic acid. In curd which you eat, it has lactic acid. In banana, tamarind and grapes you have tartaric acid, and in tea you also have tannic acid. So these are some of the acids which are organic acid and which are not so harmful acids. But we also have a group of acids which are very harmful. So those are your mineral acid, and it usually contains nitric acid, sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. So these are very strong acids. So whenever we come in contact with this acid, it might causes burn in your hands. Now we are going to see some of the properties of the acids. So we have a very long list of that, somewhat like we can see out here there are 7 properties of acid, but we're gonna discuss it in short. So first one is acids are sour in taste. Acids are corrosive in nature. Now corrosive here means whenever it comes with any other substance, it start burning those substance. So not like even if this organic acid, even if we are keeping any substance attached to it for a very long period of time, so it will affect those acid. And the strong acid, if any compound, if papers and all, if it comes in contact with strong acid, those papers, they will start burning. Now next, acids are soluble in water. That means whenever we dissolve acid in water, soluble here means they are easily able to mix with water. So for the reason out here is the release of H plus ion. So in higher classes you will be understanding what does H plus ion, release of H plus ion means. So whenever acids are dissolving in water, they releases H plus ion, which shows the property of acid. In general, when certain acids react with metal, hydrogen gas is released. So it requires a chemical reaction. That means, so a reaction need to be shown where it shows that whenever an acid reacts with uh, a base, salt and water is formed. So a brief reaction is used, and they also should be a reaction which shows that whenever an acid is reacting on metal, hydrogen gas is released. For this, we're gonna see some of the example. So I'm taking one of the mineral acids. So let's say HCl, hydrochloric acid. It's a mineral acid. So whenever this mineral acid reacts with a metal, so let us say a metal would be Na, sodium. So whenever an acid reacts with a metal, a salt is formed. That salt is your NaCl, and a hydrogen gas is released. So this one out here, it's known as sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, and it's a salt. Salt doesn't always mean the salt which we eat. Okay, this sodium chloride is the salt which we eat, also known as your common salt. But in many cases, it's not always defining the salt which we eat. So whenever acid reacts with a metal, it's giving us salt plus hydrogen gas. And another one, whenever acid reacts with a base. So another example would be acid when reacts with a base. Let us say a base would be sodium hydroxide. That will give us NaCl, a salt and water. So these are some of the examples reaction which you need to be knowing. And again, starting with the chapter, acid reacts with carbonates to form carbon dioxide, water and salt. So let us see another reaction, acid reacting with carbonates. So one example of carbonate would be calcium carbonate. Reacts with an acid. So HCl. So whenever an acid reacts with an acid, carbon dioxide, water and salt is formed. So first we will try to see the salt. Calcium chloride will be the salt. Water and carbon dioxide, these are some of the products formed. So these are also some of the very important reactions which you need to know. Now seeing out some of the uses of acids. So acids are usually present in food which provides some essential requirements for your body. Hydrochloric acid is one of the very important acid which is present in your stomach, so it helps in digestion of food. So in some cases, acids are also used as food preservatives. Acid acts as a rust remover. So you have seen the rusts and all in steels and all, in irons and all. So with the help of these acids, we can even remove those substances. And sulfuric acid is used in car batteries. So sulfuric acid, one of the very strongest acid, mineral acid, is used in car batteries and all. There are some other acids like sulfuric acid and nitric acid, which can also be used in case of agricultures. Then you have hydrochloric acid, which is used as a cleaning agent, and sulfuric acid also used in manufacture of paints and dyes. So colors and all those can in those substances also you require acids. Next we have is base. Now base is something opposite to acid, and in taste base is very bitter in taste. So usually one of the example would be your baking soda. Your baking soda is also a base. The one which you use in food and all, it's also base. And if you try to taste those baking soda, it's very bitter in taste. Now here are some of the name of the bases. So bases are also of two types, like in previous case it was organic acid and mineral acids. So usually organic acids are weak acids and mineral acids are strong acids. Same way we also have those for bases. We have strong base and weak base. So some of the examples of bases are sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide and all. Like sodium hydroxide, those are usually found in soaps and all. Calcium hydroxide in lime water and all. So these are some of the examples of bases. Like you can see in base at the back, you can see there's an OH attached to it. So that is an example of a base. Now if here are some of the properties of bases. So usually bases are very much slippery. So whenever you put a base in hand, they are very much slippery, and this base are also can also be used as an acids. Like if you are having any problem related to indigestion, for in the manufacture of those substance, base can also be used. So with the help of base, many soaps and other substances are manufactured, and one of the very much important reaction, the one which I showed you, it can be used in neutralization reaction. When acid reacts with a base, they give salt and water, the reaction which we have done out here. So this reaction out here, base is also required. Now we will be seeing some of the uses of base. Like we have already know that milk of magnesia out here, the very much important, which